All right, welcome back here on the program. Titans Talk on your televisions tonight here on News Channel 5. Plus, phone lines open, 737-7767. Lots of lines open today for people to call in. Titans coming off that big win over the Jaguars on Thursday night, getting set for a trip to San Diego on Sunday this week. 3:25, a late start time for the Titans. 3:25 Central Time. You can watch it, as always, right here on News Channel 5 or over on the mothership, as we like to call it, the Big Nickel, News Channel 5 on Sunday afternoon. Let's go back, revisit the game from Thursday night against the Jaguars. One of the more complete performances from the Titans all season long, as they prove that they are not the same old Titans, going out and taking care of business against the Jaguars. Former Titans great Eddie George on hand, carrying the sword, slam into the ground as the 12th Titan ahead of the game. Old 2-7 seemed to fire the troops up. 3-0 already in the first. Demarco Murray, nice job tiptoeing down the sideline, 22 yards for a big first down pickup. Same drive into the second quarter. Marcus Mariota, Kendall Wright, perfect ball, touchdown, 36 yards. It's 10-0 Tennessee. Next Titans possession. How about the rookie, the Heisman Trophy winner? You want to give him the ball? He'll do that. Derrick Henry with the touchdown. 17-0. Titans marching down the field after another defensive stop. This time it's Demarco Murray. And look at the block he gets from Mariota, springing him for the touchdown. All of a sudden, it's 24-0. Murray, 123 yards rushing on 21 carries. Titans outgained the Jags 354-60 in the first half. Avery Williamson with a sack there. It was 27-0 after a field goal on the final play of the half. Second half, more of the same. Mariota to Matthews. Rashard Matthews coming on strong for the Titans. Mariota, 18-22, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a passer rating of 148.1, and it's a laugher as the Titans beat the rival Jags 36-22. Wasn't even as close as that sounds, to improve to 4-4 on the year. Big win for the Titans indeed on Thursday night. Now they are all alone in second place once again. Colts losing on Sunday. Texans win, so they're up to 5-3. Titans still a game back moving to the second half of the year, but very much in the division race, and that obviously means you're in the playoff race as you move towards the second half of the year. Jonathan Hutton from Titans Radio, midday 180 on 104.5 The Zone, joins us like every week on the Electric Power Company's Sunday Sports Central, and he helped me break down the keys to the first half of the season. Normally do keys to the game, but Titans are 4-4. What's been the difference? What have been the keys to look for? Jonathan Hutton helped us get into that last night on the Electric Power Company's Sunday Sports Central. Time now for our Middle Tennessee Honda Keys, and this week we're going through the whole first half of the season, through 8 games this time around. And Jonathan, I think we have to begin at the obvious, the quarterback position, and Marcus Mariota.
Marcus Mariota is in command, and keep in mind this is his 3rd offensive play caller making plays for him within this offense since he was a rookie last year, and I think he's finally starting to get into a groove, finding rhythm in the run game, and we're seeing him spread the football around to multiple receivers. He's had some really nice games as of late, and that should carry over into the second half of the season. Yeah,
Mariota with 10 touchdowns, just 1 interceptions over the last month, and the defense has turned up the pressure on opposing quarterbacks in that time as well.
I was eager going into the season, Steve, to see a disruptive Dick LeBeau defense, and they're certainly doing that. 22 sacks, several quarterback hurries per game, and they're getting production out of their best pass rushers. Of those 22 sacks, 15.5 have been from Arakpo, Casey, and Morgan, the best players stepping up in key moments, getting the football back to their offense.
And that group has averaged 4 sacks a game over the last 4 weeks, led by Brian Arakpo's 7 sacks. If we're looking for a real negative here in the first half of the season, we don't have to look any farther than the not-so-special special teams.
And that's been the worst area among the 3 phases of this team. When they've had a problem penalty-wise, when they've had a big play that's turned momentum in games, you can point to special teams as being the main reason, the main culprit for that. They've allowed punt returns. Bobby April was fired after week 4. Penalties, blocked extra points, missed extra points. They've left points, they've left turnovers, they've left penalties on the field when special teams has been on the field. But I thought they played well, adequate against Jacksonville. That's all they can ask for right now.
Right, maybe their best performance of the year. Got a turnover, won the field position battle. The Titans say all 3 phases, the win over the Jags, was their most complete performance. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. All 3 phases, obviously, we talked about in the highlights what the offense did first half throughout the game. Mariota's performance where he was just crisp. If you want to complain about how he played against Indianapolis, and look, he's ripe for criticism. That was not a great performance against the Colts a week ago. He was every bit that good and then some against Jacksonville. One of the best performances of his career. And then you couple it with a running game that goes over 200 yards. The offense looked very, very good, albeit against the Jaguars. The defense had its way throughout the course of the night until the second half when they went very much prevent against Blake Bortles and company. And that was a bit of a concern because the Jags can throw it around the park, and you had Parrish Cox out of the game. You had Rashad Johnson out with a neck injury. This was a bit of a beat-up secondary going against that type of an offense. They just never got going because the pressure was that much. They only got a couple of sacks officially, but harassed Blake Bortles throughout the entire night. That was great. And then special teams-wise, they won the battlefield position. Brett Kern punted great again. And you get a fumble off of a return. Special teams comes up with a turnover. Special teams has made so many blunders to this point of the year. It has been the glaring weakness of this Titans team. For them to show up and actually play in that way on Thursday night was just really, really big for the Titans and will be big moving forward to the second half of the year. Don't forget our phone lines are open. 737-7767 is the number. We would love to hear from you tonight as we get set towards the second half of the season. Your thoughts about the win over the Jaguars on Thursday night, and where does this team go from here now? They are 4-4. The excitement seems to be building back in the city around this team because, let's face it, they're finally relevant again. What are you now expecting in front of them? Tough task going to San Diego on Sunday. Then you have the Packers coming in the following week. What's realistic from 4-4 for this Titans team to do in the second half? Big win over the Jaguars, as we mentioned. Let's go inside the locker room now and hear from the Titans on what that game meant to them to get back to that mark of 4-4. And exactly my question to you guys, where they can go from here after that win over the Jaguars.
Titans jump out to a 27-0 lead and cruise home with a 36-22 victory over Jacksonville.
Just 4 days after a frustrating 10-straight loss to the rival Colts, the Titans returned to Nissan Stadium to deliver their best performance of the year, dominating the Jaguars from the start of a not-as-close-as-it-sounds 36-22 win.
The best we had all year. Our special teams came up with a turnover. Our special teams shut them down all game. Our offense scored with no problem, ran the ball with ease, and our defense just kept getting after them. When you have a complete game like that, it's hard to lose a game, man. We just got to keep on building on it.
Today was really the first time all 3 phases played a complete game. That's all you can really ask for. And those guys deserve a lot of credit.
After starting the season 1-3, the Titans have now won 3 of their last 4. Already with 1 more victory than they had all of last season, players say their .500 record is a sign of progress.
This is the most games I've won since I've been here, 4 games in 1 year, so I'm happy. But just got to keep it rolling.
We just sick and tired of losing, man. Sick and tired of being the pushover in this division. And we've had some games that are even close. We shouldn't be 500 right now. We should definitely be better than that. We showed that today. We're a much better team than we were last year.
The second half of the season will begin with the Titans in the middle of the AFC South race. For a team that hasn't sniffed the postseason since 2008, meaningful football games are ahead.
These next couple of games, these are really, where the really good teams, they start to, find themselves and get the ball rolling. And, we've had a good last 4 games, but we got to continue, just like I said, just get better, come in every day, just work hard and see what happens.
Something to play for in the second half of the season, Jonathan Hutton. That is a welcome change around here. And as we look at your first half MVPs, Demarco Murray, who we just heard from, is a big reason why.
Well, Demarco Murray, if the Titans are putting on a concert, he's the headliner, and for good reason. He's their best player on the field at all times. They feed him the rock when they need yardage, both in the run game and the passing game. 4 games this season, he's surpassed 100 yards rushing. He's averaged at least 5 yards per carry in 3 games this season, and 4.7, that's what he's averaging per carry on the year. He's already surpassed what he did in Philadelphia, and he's on pace for a very nice year in his first year with Tennessee.
You can tell he's a little motivated by the Philadelphia talk, and he's already surpassed that number. And Titans fans have to be happy. While he's helped them get to 4-4, he says their goals are even higher. Another reason for that is your defensive MVP, who is?
You can't go wrong with Brian Orakpo, and for good reason on the defensive side. 7 sacks, that was his mark last year through the entire year. He's already reached that goal of last year's mark through 7 games. 32 quarterback pressures. So even when he's not getting the sack on the stat sheet, he is racking up big plays around the quarterback, forcing throws and momentum-changing plays that are helping out his defense.
One of the league's top rushers and pass rushers leading the way for the Titans. I think it's hard to argue with those 2 picks as the MVPs of the first half of the year. Demarco Murray been one of the leading rushers in the NFL so far this season. He looks to be in the form of 2014 when he was the NFL's rushing champ in Dallas. He's been a huge part of the Titans' ability to move into kind of a more smash-mouth, physical offensive style where they've been able to control games, control time of possession against a lot of different teams, especially here over the last month as they've gotten the record back to the 500 mark. He's also been a good mentor for Derrick Henry, you have to believe, as he gets set for a long career in the NFL. Demarco Murray has been an absolute star and, frankly, a steal in that trade from Philadelphia. And then Brian Orakpo on the other side, he maybe has some more help in terms of what that defense is doing. But 7 sacks, again, among some of the league's leaders in that category. And now I think he's getting a lot of focus. Because if you looked at the first month of the season when he was so hot, Derek Morgan wasn't producing a lot. Now, Morgan's coming into the picture. He's got 5.5 sacks over the last 4 weeks. Jarrell Casey's come on strong. This, all of a sudden, is a pass rush to be reckoned with Orakpo, Morgan, and Casey all getting after the quarterback. And as we know, what's this league all about? It's about having a quarterback who can direct the offense, not turn over the ball, and make plays when he needs to. I think the Titans have seen, and Marcus Mariota has shown, that he is absolutely capable of doing that on the offensive side of the ball. And now this year, not as much pressure on him to do that because of a few more playmakers like a Demarco Murray. And then defensively, can you get after the quarterback? Can you affect the opposing team's quarterback? And the Titans have been able to do that, especially over the last month when they've played much better in that second quarter of the season because of being able to get pressure. 22 sacks on the year, 16 of them have come in the last 4 games when the Titans went 3-1. Big part of that, again, is Orakpo, Morgan, and Casey. You've got to be able to continue that, especially because if you look at the schedule over the next month, now as we move into the third quarter, you start with Phillip Rivers in San Diego this weekend. Then you get Aaron Rodgers here in Nashville a week from Sunday when the Packers come into the town. And then you go and get Andrew Luck again, a team that this team has repeatedly had struggles against, trying to stop him in that offense. That is 3 really good quarterbacks in a row. Can the Titans continue this pressure up? Can they affect those guys and help this team get over the hump? We'll see. 737-7767 is the number. We've got to take a break. We will come back. We will get to your phone calls. We'll also dive a little bit more into that defense with Brian Orakpo. Look ahead to the San Diego game. More analysis from Jonathan Hutton. Also, Marcus Mariota's first half of the season broken down in video form. Stay tuned. Much more to get to on tonight's edition of Titans Talk here on News Channel 5+.